What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome along to episode number 21 of the F1 22 Road to GOAT Driver Career Mode Series for the Miami Grand Prix, the 5th race of Season 2. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check one out. There'll be a card in the top right hand corner of your screen now, and make sure to get caught up in the playlist as well, to get caught right up from the start of the series. So, we're in the sunshine state of Florida for today's one here in Miami, but sunshine a bit far away from us at this point. The rain is pouring down at the Miami International Autodrome. We've got a Drivers' Championship race in our hands. Lando Norris leads Charles Leclerc by just 1 point in the championship right now. Norris starts in slightly further back in the order, and we start inside the top 10 once again for Alpine. Very nice looking helmet there. We've got some nice new modifications, which you'll see in a few moments time. And there's George Russell starting in 6th place on the grid, just a few spots up on us. In terms of strategy for this race, so we're looking for the rain to clear up later on into the Grand Prix, but we're not entirely sure when. Of course, the rain was said to hit in Silverstone last time out a bit later than it actually did. It came a lot earlier than we expected. So we're going to intermediates as long as we need to, about halfway into the race, and that we're looking to make the change on to have set mediums or a set of soft tyres towards the end. So you see the slightly new modifications on our Alpine helmet there, a couple of the sponsors. You can see that large white Alpine logo at the top there. So make sure to go follow the guy who made the Red Bull livery as well. So he made this beautiful helmet for him and got it working. So appreciate him for that. So we go to 5 red lights now to get us underway for the Miami Grand Prix, our first visit to Miami in this career mode series. It's lights out, foot to floor, go, go, go. Decent getaway. Didn't lose too much time compared to those two guys behind us. They try and get alongside Magnussen off on the run towards turn 1, but Ricardo might go to the inside of us. Gasly looks to the outside for that first corner. Ricardo trying to peek inside. We've had a bit of contact with Ocon. We've managed to get out in front of K-Mag behind us. Ocon perhaps almost losing it a little bit there through turn 2. We've managed to stay behind him though, so up into P9 here. One spot gain off of the start here. So we're now chasing down our teammate Esteban Ocon through this first sector on the circuit. Perez just in front of Hamilton, and then that's Norris there in P5, so slightly lower down the field compared to how he usually is looking to play that championship league today. So there's long than snake of cars, making our way to the end of this first sector. We start the second one. It's been a decent start again, just that one position. We're trying to build on that, try and chase down Ocon if we can. We're looking to try and take Perez in the Red Bull as well. Have to make sure Magnussen and Ricardo don't try and come back at us over this next part of the lap. Because engine trouble not doing too well in terms of power unit parts. The reliability is looking, wear has been quite higher on this one, so we have to try and manage it as best we can here. Now look at the outside of Ocon, into the stadium section, and we hit his back tyre a bit there. Luckily no damage there for either one of us to make our way through that stadium section. On the inside of it now, to the right hand, we've managed to take clear of our teammates and up into P8 now. That's 2 places gained on this first lap. We're going to try and take Perez if we can down that long straight, which is going to have DRS enabled on it in a few laps time. But as it's wet, there's no chance that DRS coming for a little while. It has to make do using our battery to our advantage if we can. Perez is far better action than we do, and Ocon might try and come back at us here on the run towards that penultimate corner, the last real braking zone on the circuit. You look to our left here and pull alongside us and head towards that corner, and keep an eye on Magnussen further back, might try and take advantage of if something goes wrong between us two. As it goes side by side in through the left-hander on the exit, Ocon has to better drive off and making it back into P8 here. Magnussen could try and come back at us here on the run towards the start finish line, back towards turn 1. Verstappen sets the first and fastest lap of this race so far. Magnussen to the outside looking towards that first corner to start lap number 2, and we'll hold the inside, stay defensive. We could have tried to dive on Ocon, but being a bit too risky. I don't want to take both Alpines out this early on in the Grand Prix. So hold station just behind me here, hopefully try and get it back. And here in Mark that's where the radio tells me there's gearbox problems on the car. Of course, the gearbox reliability of the wear of, so I keep saying reliability of the wear, but it's getting lower and lower as time goes by, so we could potentially lose some gears later on the race. Hoping that doesn't happen. In terms of weather, we're still looking at about 5-10 more minutes of the rain, so it's definitely getting lighter, but in terms of that change, it's not looking like it's definitely happening too early on in this race. We continue to chase down Ocon, and Magnussen still there on our tail. Ricardo's not far behind him either. On to that number 6 now. Ocon and Hamilton are there in front of us. Gone a bit too deep there for that last corner. Magnussen might try and take advantage of that to come down these last couple of turns back towards the finish line. But we're going to keep in front of the Dane towards turn 1. But he might try and come back at us here down the main straight, similar to how he did on the opening lap. Will he pull to the inside? He may have enough room to go for it if we leave him enough. It was braked a bit too early there for that first corner. Magnussen peeks inside, but backs out of it, chooses the safe way out, and we hold on to P9 for the time being. But Ocon's getting away here. He's about 2.5 seconds up the road. He's got Lewis Hamilton there. We had Lewis Hamilton right in front of him there, rather. Hamilton's got some kind of problem with Mercedes. He's dropped back. He's now down to P8. So Ocon's made light work of him, and we're trying to do the exact same thing as we continue to chase down our teammate. We could try and take P8 away here. Whether the Mercedes will be able to fix that issue, I'm not sure. We'll have to just try and get around the Brit as best we can, to try and take advantage of any struggles he may have before we can try and chase down Ocon once again. We continue on to number 8 of this Grand Prix. We are there right behind Hamilton in his Black Arrow Mercedes. We're going to try and get around him this time if we can, going towards the stadium section in order to try and not lose any more time to Ocon. He's at 2.2 seconds clear of us. Magnussen 2.2 behind, so there's no real threat there. Our main concern is getting around the 7-time world champion. As you look to the outside, going towards that next left-hander. Hamilton goes defensive. Let's try and get him on the inside of the stadium section, similar to how we did against Ocon the opening lap. And on the inside, to clean, easy overtake, and we're up into another place gain. So looking at P8 now and chasing down Ocon for P7. We've got a bit of work to do here in order to close that gap. Hamilton might try and come back at us if he gets a good enough exit. But we may have disposed him for the time being, so don't count him out just yet. A good exit is all he needs to get it right here compared to us. We use our back heel to try and stay in front. That gearbox is at 72%. It's not looking too good for us. It's looking like ropes for us at this point. Hamilton closing in. Will he have enough to go for it into the right left-hander? I don't think he will. They'll keep in front of him just for now.
Okay, you've lost access to one of the gears. We've lost one of the gears due to a fault in the gearbox.
We've lost the gear here, so the unthinkable, the unfortunate has happened rather, and we've lost, looks like 5th gear we've lost here to come down this main straight, which could be crucial considering how much we were in 5th gear over the course of the circuit, especially in some of these braking zones where we're going up shifts and down shifts through these corners. We'll try and hold on to it as best we can. It's pushed up number 13 now, nearing the halfway stage. By this point, it looks like the problem's fixed itself, so the crew have managed to sort it out from the pit wall. And so 5th gear working again, nice and easy. Unsure as to how they've managed that. We're continuing on here. We're looking towards that first pit stop of the race. The weather's drying a little bit. It may not look like much on the screen, but the track is drying. It's coming to like number 16 now. There's a dry line that's definitely formed. And the cars in front of us all coming into the pit lane. Ocon's pitting. So the crucial thing for us here is that we don't come in when he is, because we don't want to risk a double stack. We're going to stay for one more lap here and go on to set mediums and this lap to see if it works. I'm not sure we're going to come out. It looks like we might come out just behind Max Verstappen. We're leading the way for a few seconds, but here comes the Dutchman back out onto the racetrack and could potentially try and have it out with Max Verstappen for the race lead. It wouldn't be the wisest thing to do considering we're on old inters and he's on fresh mediums and just trying to get away from us. So we'll try and stick in his toe for as best we can here over the course of this lap and just try and hang on to it as we make our way through towards the end of the lap to make up that first and only pit stop of this Grand Prix. The Inters have done their job brilliantly. They've done 17 laps for them. They're coming to make that stop onto a set medium tyres. I was considering taking the risk and going on soft, but they would have run out a bit too much late on in the Grand Prix, and that wouldn't have helped our case at all. So coming to the pit lane now, mediums is the call. As we wait now for the turn in to play to perfection. Here comes the last few seconds, and in we come to the pit lane into our pit box. And there go Alpine getting to work here. 2.3 second stop, green light on the pit, and we're away. So into P7, we're going to lose a few places here, down to P8. Albon and Schumacher pitting behind us. I think Hamilton might come out in front of us as well. To be very tight on the pit exit. Going to turn off the pit limiter as we cross the line. And going towards turn number 2 here on the pit exit. Hamilton squeezing just in front of us there. So we're down back to P9. We won't lose hope this race in no way ever. We can get around Hamilton and we can try and catch up to Ocon. He's 4.5 seconds in the clear of us now. It's pushing on towards the end of the lap. We've got DRS for the first time in this Grand Prix. We're used to our advantage to getting the toe off of Hamilton's Mercedes, and we've got the DRS working to our advantage as well. Hamilton defensive middle. We're going to look to the outside going towards the left-hander as we make our way into that last braking point. Through on the outside, trying to make something work here. If we can get a better drive off than Hamilton, it might just work for us. We're still there on the inside. Come to that last little right-hander, charging over the line to make our way onto lap number 19. There's 10 more laps to go in this Grand Prix. Hamilton's still down our outside as we reach turn 1. We've got the inside for the braking zone, and on the exit, going to pull clear of the arrow. So we make our way up into P8 here. 4.3 seconds, the gap to Ocon. And the gearbox is still taking heavy casualties out here, so they're down to 75% on that. Yellow flags. That's Lance Stroll out of the session in the final corner there. So one of the Aston Martins again retiring from a Grand Prix. It's a sight we're starting to see a lot more regularly this season. I can be glad it's not our old Williams team, as there is Stroll making his way through the last couple of corners, and there is that telltale puff of smoke that will put him out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately. So he's going to have to pull the car over in a safe position, which will be just here in this little area out of the penultimate corner. And there goes his teammate Sebastian Vettel charging through. He's had the majority of the bad luck this season. He's Stroll out of the race, his first retirement of the season. Hamilton coming back out here to the outside, going into the stadium section here, which means he'll have the inside for this next right-hander. So similar to how we got him earlier on, he might try and pull it off. We've got a better driver around the outside though, so managed to hold on to it. But Hamilton's still there, not willing to let us pull away. So continue further on, just trying to hold him off as best we can as we look towards the last stage or so of this Grand Prix. Hamilton not giving it up just yet. We'll get DRS on us once again as we make our way down towards that left-hander. We're very tight in the playoffs as we use the last few slivers of our battery in order to try and stay in front. But Hamilton closing in all the while. As you look to the inside, he's got a foot on us and almost had a nose clear as we actually got into the corner. Very tight between us. On the outside of him, we're getting the better drive off. We've passed the yellow flags here. Hamilton can't pass us while we were going around Stroll, because is out of the race. The green flags come back out, back to racing again, as it's pushing up number 20 now. Ocon, we're not getting much of them at all, still 4.5 seconds up the road. But as we come to the end lap number 20, we're getting about a second or so. It's been a very good lap for us. We're going to set the fastest lap of the race as well. That's one extra point if we hold on to it in these last few stages of the race. And Hamilton's just 8 tenths back. So it's not over yet. You can still try and pass us. We've got mainly focused on getting around Ocon, who's 4.2 seconds clear again by the time we reach the end of the next lap. And Hamilton looking to the inside for us at turn 1, trying to get back around us if he can into that corner. Bit of tapping on the wheels there, on our right front and his left front. Just try and squeeze him out there. That came very close to contact. Hamilton almost losing the car just a little bit. We were a bit too aggressive on him perhaps. With no contact made, we're still there in P8, looking to try and bring home these last few points for Alpine. Onto that number 27 now.
Gears, I'm afraid. Say again, you have lost access to one of the gears.
And it's happened again. We've lost another gear here, and it's looking like we may have lost a lower gear this time because we've gone through the majority of the gears on exit, and we haven't seen any issues with them. So it could be one of the lower gears, perhaps gear 1 or 2. We'll have to find out as we make our way towards this next left-hander. Hamilton could see us as easy prey now as we come towards the last couple of laps of this Grand Prix. We can kiss goodbye any chances of us catching Ocon. We've lost second gear here, and on the exits that could be horrible for us to make our way through the stadium section once again. We come to the last lap of the Grand Prix though. Again, this problem seems to have sorted itself. We managed to go through gear 2 just fine here. Go to this last corner. We've got way too wide there, and Hamilton might see one more chance to come back at us. With the use of DRS, we've got 2 more DRS zones to come, and one of them's right here. Ocon 3.8 seconds down the road. He's all set for P7. Norris there in P6. May lose the championship lead depending on results in terms of the cars in front. Hamilton's going to look for it if he can get close enough, but not going to try it down the inside, not just yet. Might try and go for us in that last little zone as Max Verstappen has led the entire way today. He comes to the last couple of corners with a fairly easy drive with Carlos Sainz pushing him all the way, but Verstappen's going to come through and become the first 2-time winner in 2023, taking the Miami Grand Prix victory. Sainz can go in second place, another podium for him and Ferrari. And on this last DRS straight now, headed to be Hamilton's last chance to get around us. We have to try and defend as best we can as Verstappen swipes the fastest lap off us. And here comes Hamilton for one last try here, coming towards that last braking zone on the circuit. He's going to pull alongside us and get clear of us. We're following his wake now and try and make a move if we can towards this last corner, going late on the brakes. It'll be very tight. We're going to squeeze him out on the exit and pull in front. And that'll be all she wrote here as we come towards the line to claim P8. Unable to catch Ocon, but given the struggle good today, I'd say we did a fairly good job getting 2 places over the course of that race. Hamilton's battle was brilliant, and I've been very satisfied with our first trip to Miami.
And that's the checkered flag. What an amazing victory in what has been a great Miami Grand Prix. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So Max Verstappen then becomes the first driver in Season 2 to win 2 Grand Prix, taking victory, of course, in Australia and now in Miami. So he wins, with Sainz home in second, and George Russell in third place for Mercedes. Another podium for him. In terms of the battle between Leclerc and Norris, I believe Leclerc finished in front, so he may take over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. But all in all, it should close up a little bit more here after Verstappen struggles from Silverstone, with a retirement now leading to a race win here in Miami.
Charles Leclerc assumes the lead in the standings after today's outstanding result. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
But it's absolutely got to be Alexander Albon, no hesitation. He put in a performance today that's only going to build further upon his already growing reputation.
Let's move on to the constructors. No change in the top spot then, but with today's points, their hold on that lead is getting weaker. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Let's have a look now at the final results after that Miami Grand Prix. Verstappen wins it, then Sainz in second, Russell third, Perez home in fourth, Leclerc fifth, 2 points from over Norris, Ocon in seventh, we come home in eighth, Hamilton ninth, and Ricciardo and Magnussen in the fight for the final point. It was Ricciardo who got it, and in terms of that teammate performance, it's another race. Ocon finishes in front of us, so I believe it's 3-2 to us right now in terms of race finishes. Leclerc takes over the championship lead again by 1 point over Norris. Verstappen now just 6 points back, Sainz 11 out, Russell 16, Perez 24, and we're still in 7th, 34 points off the lead, which isn't that much, if I'm being honest. I'm not saying we have a chance at this Drivers' Championship fight at all, but I mean, it's still a very good performance in these first few races, and we're closing in on McLaren, 62 points compared to McLaren's 88, so we're still closing in on those guys. But guys, that is the end of the video. I do hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to like, share and subscribe for all future Formula 1 content. And until then, my next video, guys, have a great day, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.